Hello everyone, I'm Manasvi Kumar, a PhD student studying at the University of Arizona. I'm excited to present the paper titled When is Enough Enough? An examination of student engagement when watching online group project presentations. Before I begin, I would like to thank all the co-authors of this paper for giving me an opportunity to share our findings with you all. In this presentation, I begin by briefly going over the difficulties associated in gauging students' engagement in an online context and how relationships between student perceptions, behavior, and performance may be studied. I then describe the methodology used in this study. Later, I summarize our analysis and go over the key results obtained. I then leverage our findings to formulate suggestions for improving the design of online group presentation and peer review assignments. Finally, I will leave you with some key takeaways from the study. Let us begin by examining student engagement in an online context. The volume of online classes grew rapidly in 2020 as various lockdown measures were imposed. This shift was not entirely smooth, as replicating specific class activities remains challenging. One such commonly included part of many course design recommendations is group presentation. These are difficult to include in an online setting, but are considered to be critical learning experiences. The key challenge associated with including group presentations in these settings include difficulty in gauging student participation and engagement. Assessing student engagement in an online setting is different and difficult compared to an in-person one where student behaviors are much more easily observed. In this paper, we explore the relationships between student perceptions on online presentations, their engagement behavior while completing the task, along with overall class performance. We will now go over the methodology used in the study, mainly focusing on the nature of the engagement task and various data sources used during the study. Students enrolled in an undergraduate operations management class at a public university were considered for the study. As a course requirement, all students were part of a 5-member project team which submitted a 10-minute online recorded presentation. Later, they were also required to individually evaluate 5 randomly assigned presentations. These students were later recruited to complete a survey in order to receive extra credit. In the survey, they answer demographic questions and questions which capture student attitudes towards different facets of evaluating videos. As only students enrolled in a specific class were recruited for the study, this provides us with access to their letter grades on the course, subject to student consent. Furthermore, as all videos evaluated were hosted on an online learning platform, this provides us with access to view times on all videos, again subject to student consent. Finally, the survey responses provide us self-reported student attitudes towards various facets of the evaluation assignment, such as learning, value of time, and importance of the task. We now focus on the data used in the study, specifically how we aim to combine different diverse data sources to improve understanding of how students perceive and go about completing the task of online presentation evaluations. As mentioned earlier, we asked students to complete an online survey where they answer questions capturing their attitude towards the evaluation assignment. All responses are calibrated on a 5-point Likert scale, with higher values indicating a positive sentiment. We then collect view times from the online learning platform, which serve as a proxy for student engagement. The platform provides data on time spent on the page, but not the exact time of viewing. This makes it difficult to predict the order in which the 5 videos were viewed. We negate this issue by sorting videos based on view times, on the assumption that viewing time declines as a student watches subsequent videos. Finally, we use letter grades on the course as opposed to grades on the presentation project, as the former is a better representation of the student's individual understanding. While pre-processing this data, we observed that 289 of 365 students who completed the survey agreed to allow use of their educational record data. We then performed outlier analysis on view times and eventually utilized records from 249 students for further analysis. We'll now summarize the results of our study and describe the types of analyses performed based on the data at hand. For example, we can analyze video view time data from 2 perspectives, aggregate and individual. From an aggregate perspective, we can answer several questions regarding average view times on the assignment, average view times on every video, and so on. From an individual level, we can analyze view times for each individual for 5 videos and detect different viewing behaviors which could be rationalized into various personas. Data obtained from the survey can be used to determine students' self-reported attitude towards various facets of the evaluation assignment. Utilizing class performance data alone helps determine the baseline for obtaining an A grade in the course. While these analyses could lead to interesting observations, we can also combine these resources to answer questions which are otherwise difficult to do so. For example, we can analyze how various aggregate behaviors and individual personas influence survey responses and performance in the class. Answering these questions helps us test conventional wisdom that students who spend adequate time to complete their assignments receive high grades. We begin by summarizing results from the survey and analyzing aggregate view times. Before I share the survey results, note that student attitudes towards various facets of the evaluation assignment are obtained by averaging scores on relevant questions. We first asked students whether the evaluation assignment was a valuable use of their time. The average score is around 3, which indicates fairly neutral sentiment. When asked if students found the evaluation assignment as a valuable learning experience, the average score rises to 3.22, indicating a slightly positive sentiment. Finally, when asked if the students value providing feedback to their peers, the average score is 3.46, indicating the most positive sentiment among the questions asked. We now focus our attention on aggregate view time analysis, which can be done at an assignment level and video level. When analyzing view times at an assignment level, we found that the average time taken by a student to complete the assignment was 25 minutes, with the median time being closer to 21.5 minutes. When analyzing view time at a video level, we found that the average view time for an individual video is 5 minutes, with more than half the responses generated requiring less than 4 minutes of view time. We now look at view times at a video level to understand individual viewing behavior. We observe that the viewing behavior changes as a student evaluates 5 videos, notably exhibiting the experiential effect observed in such tasks. This observation enables us to classify students based on their viewing characteristics. One such characteristic is the average view time of all videos, which is around 5 minutes or half the duration. A student who viewed all his or her videos for greater than average time completed the assignment diligently. We thus classify those students who viewed all their videos for greater than 5 minutes as conscientious. On the other hand, we posit that a student who viewed any video for less than a minute didn't complete the assignment diligently. We therefore classify these students as cheaters. Not all students lie in these extreme ends, and it is entirely possible that students exist who put in minimal but adequate effort in viewing the videos and provide strictly satisfactory feedback. These students are classified as satisficers. Another key observation obtained from analyzing the data is that the average view time of the longest watched video is roughly 2.8 times that of the shortest watched video. This indicates the existence of students who initially view videos diligently but end up satisficing towards the end. Such students are said to be experiencing drop-off. Finally, students who did not exhibit any of these viewing behaviors are classified as conventional students. We now look at the viewing characteristics of these personas, which were calculated using the view times of individual videos. To begin, we classify a student as a cheater if his or her shortest watched video, which is video 5, is viewed for less than a minute. On the other hand, a student with video 5 viewed for more than 5 minutes is classified as conscientious. A student whose longest watched video, which is video 1, is viewed for less than 5 minutes, and video 5 is viewed for more than a minute is classified as satisficer. Similarly, a student with video 1 viewed for more than 5 minutes and video 5 viewed for between 1 and 5 minutes, and the ratio of view times of videos 1 and 5 is found to be greater than 3 is classified as drop-off, while if the ratio is less than 3, the student is classified as conventional. We will now look at the effect of view times on survey responses, specifically focusing on how students' viewing behavior personas affect survey responses. We observed that conscientious students found the assignment to be a valuable use of their time and also found it to be a valuable learning experience. We also observed relatively high average scores on the importance of feedback from all groups of students. In addition, we observed that students who spend less than 25 minutes on the assignment neither found it to be a valuable use of their time nor found it to be a good learning experience. We will now look at the effect of view times on class performance, specifically focusing on how students' viewing behavior personas affect letter grade on the course. Before discussing the results, it is worth noting that roughly 56% of the class received an A grade on the course. We observed that roughly 48 to 49% of the students classified as drop-off, satisficers, or cheaters received an A grade, which is less than the baseline. In contrast, 66% of the students classified as conscientious received an A grade, and 74% of students classified as conventional received an A grade. These results are consistent with those of aggregate view times, where 75% of the students who spent more than 50 minutes on the oral assignment received an A grade compared to 50% for those who spent less than 25 minutes. We will now look at the effect of class performance on survey responses, specifically focusing on how letter grade on the course affects survey responses. We do so by contrasting the average scores of the self-reported measures based on the binary allocation of A grade and not A grade. We observed that students who received an A grade found the assignment to be a valuable use of their time and also viewed it to be a valuable learning experience compared to those who didn't. Finally, those who received an A grade also found the task of providing feedback to be more important than those who didn't, with the average scores on these questions being greater than the other two. This indicates that the overall class agrees that providing feedback is an important task. Let us now discuss the key findings and implications of this research. We found that while students agree that providing feedback is important, they do not see the task as a valuable use of their time. We also found that students view most videos for roughly half their duration and possibly skim through them or skip sections. We observed that students' viewing behaviors change over the course of 5 videos, and it is possible to realize personas which summarize their behaviors. We also found that students who engage more are likely to receive a better final course grade than those who don't. We will now demonstrate how utilizing these results could be used to improve the design of online group presentation assignments. Let us briefly discuss one approach to improve student engagement. Note that the initial design of the evaluation assignment involves the student providing feedback to 5 different 10-minute presentation videos. Let us now utilize the results obtained from the current study. Analyzing survey data indicated that while students agree that providing feedback is important, they do not view it as a valuable use of their time. Analyzing individual and aggregate view times revealed that students do not watch all 5 videos entirely prior to providing feedback. Thus, a logical suggestion to improve engagement could be to reduce the overall ideal time requirement to complete the task. This can be achieved by reducing the number of evaluations per student or reducing the overall length of each video or a combination of the two. Our data reveals that almost half the class viewed at least 3 videos for at least 4 minutes. A good starting point could therefore be to redesign the assignment such that each student evaluates 3 presentations, with each presentation being no longer than 5 minutes each. This process may be iterated until satisfactory scores of student attitudes are achieved. In conclusion, I would like to leave you with a few key takeaways. In this paper, we designed a study to understand the limits of student engagement while evaluating online presentations. We utilized self-reported measures as well as actual engagement while completing the evaluations to perform analysis. Our results indicate that student behavioral data, when evaluating online presentations, indicates students' engagement with the course material. We also found that students engage in different types of viewing behaviors as they complete multiple evaluations. We recommend that instructors perform similar analysis to better gauge current student engagement levels and make appropriate changes to their course design in order to ensure acceptable levels of student engagement while performing evaluations. Thank you.